Greg Anthony, Steve Smith, and David Aldridge.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Young, and I'm back. I got another video. This time I'm doing something different. But first and foremost, please make sure you go like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Turn on the post notifications so you know when the next video drops. First thing first, before I get started into this video, shout out to everybody who gave me, support, even the dislikes and the likes, on that Patrick Williams video. I just wanted to follow back up and actually give you my thoughts on the actual, signing of Patrick Williams, my thoughts for the Bulls, and yada, 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 because I felt like a lot of people was banging with that. So I got, some Bulls gameplay in the background, you know what I'm saying? Just so y'all can have something to look at while I just rap for a good minute. First and foremost, like I said in the video, I've been a Bulls fan since, I want to say, the early 2000s. I don't necessarily count the Jordan years. One, because I'm 26, about to be 27. Those Jordan years, I was about 4 or 5-ish. And so I don't necessarily remember. Well, no, I wouldn't say I don't remember. But I didn't know basketball like I know basketball now. And so I don't necessarily count those years simply because I didn't know what the hell I was looking at. And that's just facts on that. But when it comes to the Bulls, I've been an avid fan since the early 2000s. And I gave like a little short breakdown as far as what I've seen when it comes to the Bulls. As far as the last couple of years with this whole Jimmy Butler rebuild, because that's what I'm basically calling it, I would give the rebuild a C, or maybe even a C plus, simply because a lot of things have transpired that was the front office's fault, and a lot of things have transpired that was just out of our control. As far as the front office spot, a lot of things I could really go down the list, but I'm gonna go with the top 3 things that I felt like were just horrible moves by the front office, and these are things that I've said that the front office should have never did from jump. But like I said, this is before YouTube, before all of this. First and foremost was the trade for Otto Porter. I wanted Kelly, simply because I thought we were gonna go younger. I thought that as far as what we were looking for when it came to running up and down the floor, with Zach LaVine, and at the time, Laurie was going up and down the floor. We had Chris Dunn, who was, he could get up and down the floor. I figured in my head, get somebody like Kelly who could play defense, but at the same time run the floor at the same time. But that didn't happen, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was not expecting Kelly to take the jump that he did with the Suns. So I wish him the best of luck with the Golden State Warriors, but I wasn't expecting Kelly to do all that. And it just made the trade even worse, because we're paying Otto Porter like $28 million or something in that range, which I get pissed off at all the time because this man can't stay healthy enough to play 20 games in a row. But we're not going to talk about that. And as I say that, he scores a bucket. Whatever, bump you, Otto Porter. But the second thing that I feel like didn't go well when it comes to the front office is the way we manage player injuries. The last 2 years when it came to the rebuild have really been kind of asterisk years, because when you do a rebuild, to be honest, rebuilds normally take around about 5 years at the most. That's given the same amount of time that you draft a young player, you get to see their entire game, kind of see where they're gonna go as far as development is concerned. You really give that player about like 5 years, and then you kind of get a notion as to what you're gonna get, or a little bit of a idea of what you're gonna get. Now, granted, you have some cases where they could have those 5 years and then they turn into somebody completely different, i.e. Jimmy Butler, Victor Oladipo. The list goes on and on. You got people like that. Devin Booker, who was, mainly like a spot-up shooter as far as like college was concerned. And then, as he got more playing time, he's turned into a scorer. C.J. McCollum. I could go on and on. Chris Middleton. People like that, like, after that 5-year span, they really start to put in the work. And then it was like, all right, yeah, this is where I want my game to be. And so when it comes to a rebuild, you can kind of get an idea as to what your young core or what pieces you put around your young core are going to be like. And so this is going into year 4 of the rebuild. And the first year was, the first year. The first year is normally whatever we get is what we get. And in that year, we saw Zach LaVine coming back from an ACL injury. He averaged 16 points a game or something like that. And it wasn't like Zach LaVine didn't show spurts of being a great scorer, but he struggled. And it was simply because of the fact that, he's coming back from an ACL injury. He's one of the most athletic dudes in the league. And he couldn't use one of the aspects that made him a great player. And I think that was a really good thing for him because in that offseason, he really worked on his shooting. And he became a way better shooter. His pace of game, it just slowed down tremendously. And he was just able to get his bucket at ease the next year. But first year of the rebuild, it was just like a blah year. You know what I'm saying? We drafted Lauri. Lauri had an excellent rookie year, in my opinion. He ran to some injuries towards, All-Star break after All-Star break. But, he picked it back up, and he had some pretty good games. The second year was even better. We drafted Wendell, but like I said, with the same thing with the Lauri season, we just had a shitload of injuries. Like, the second year was literally just injury after injury after injury. Zach picked up his scoring by averaging 23 points a game, and Lauri did amazing in his second year. I think he was averaging close to 17, 18 points a game. And so everything was looking like the two main guys, which was Zach and Lauri, was really going to take that next step in that third year to be dominant. I really thought they was going to take that next step, and then we had to shut down half the team. Lauri got hurt, Wendell got hurt, Otto got hurt. Chandler Hutchison, who was a rookie at the time, got hurt. Chris Dunn got hurt, and it just looked bad. It just looked really bad, and we lost a lot of games. And then going into last year, same difference. We lost a lot of games simply because of the fact that we didn't have a lot of people playing. And Lauri, the biggest thing, Lauri hurt his elbow. Lauri hurt his elbow in training camp, and it just really messed him up. And on top of that, my third reasoning behind the front office mistakes is we had Jim Boylan as a coach. I honestly thought that after Fred Hoiberg, we was going to have a really good coach in Jim Boylan because he preached defense. I kind of thought that he was more of on that Thibodeau side of he's real old school. He want to get the best out of you and yada yada yada. But he was trash, and I'm not gonna go into any more details when it comes to Boylan because I'm glad he gone. But because of Boylan, he just really, and I honestly think part of the reason why Lauri just dropped off an island was simply because Boylan did not know what he was doing in that coaching spot. We have a guy by the name of Luke Cornett that is on the team. That guy right there in the right-hand corner with that Chicago Bulls shirt on right there. You see him that's not getting in the game because he should not be on our roster at all. That guy right there took a lot of Lauri's minutes. And it was just for dumb shit. He can't protect the rim to save his life. There was a lot of late game situations where he would get in the game. He's a decent shooter, but it's like Lauri was the better shooter. They would run sets for Luke Cornett, and I'm just like, why is people like Luke Cornett and Cristiano Felicio, aka the greatest finesser in the world, why are these people taking minutes away from a guy that just averaged 18 and 8 in his second year? You expect a guy like that to take the jump the next year. And so with the combination of our coach being a complete imbecile and the fact that Lauri was coming off an elbow injury, being a primarily shooting big. You can't hurt your elbow and be a shooting big. That's just like Zach LaVine being an athletic guard and tearing his ACL. You're losing the primary thing that's gonna help you do the things that you need to do. And so with the combination of that, I think honestly, just having Boylan there, it hurt him mentally. as a player, and it made him second guess himself. A lot of the things that Lauri did in his second year, he stopped doing it, like putting the ball on the floor, actually dribbling, taking the ball down the court like what Trae Young is doing right now. Lauri used to do that. Like Lauri would inbound the ball from the center and take the ball down the court and go 94 feet. That was tough, Trae Young. That was tough. Hold on. Let me clear my throat. But Lauri would do a lot of those things, and because of that, you didn't see him do that no more. And I think a lot of that played into his confidence being, changed because of Boylen, but also with him battling those injuries. And then just like the second year of the rebuild, we had to shut the whole team down because the exact same guys got hurt all over again. Now, granted, there were some good things that we learned about in the season. Kobe White is a dog. He had like a little spurt towards the end of the season before COVID happened. He was averaging like 25 a game, going dumb. I'm talking about going crazy. So he's a flamethrower. Daniel Gafford was one of the biggest surprises. Well, no, he wasn't a surprise to me because I saw some of the stuff that he did at Arkansas. So I just thought he was going to be a rim runner. I did not think that he was going to be doing all that. I'm talking about he banging on people. Like, he's playing great defense, getting blocks, like just playing with a lot of energy. He reminded me of Taj Gibson. Those for my old Bulls fans that, that watched back in the day like that. You know what I'm saying? But he reminded me like Taj Gibson if Taj played center and was just a little bit taller. And so I really respect that when it came to Daniel Gafford. And, that was the end of that season. We lost a couple of more games because they shut the team down. And then all of a sudden they come out with the bubble. We lose our 9th spot because we shut the team down and the Wizards make the bubble. I honestly feel like, if the Bulls never shut down our team, we would have kept our 9th seed. We would have went to the bubble. I don't think we would have won a couple of games, but I do think everybody would have been healthy because we were out for COVID for about 4 months. And then the bubble happened, so you would have gave people extra 4 months to rest. Now, I expect the Bulls to come back fully healthy. They haven't played in like 6 months almost, or probably even more than that because they didn't go to the bubble. But going back to what I was saying about year 3 of the rebuild, we lost a couple games, and because we lost those couple of games, that pushed us, thank God, into the 4th overall pick, or what I thought, thank God, was going to be the 4th overall pick in the draft. For the last 3 years of the rebuild, we've been getting the 7th pick overall 3 times in a row. And in those picks, we got Lauri Wendell and Kobe White, which were excellent picks at 7. Excellent picks at 7. And so with 4, I was kind of confused. I'm not even going to lie. I was a bit worried at 4. Simply because the best prospects was the top 3 picks. Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, and LaMelo Ball. And if we had never drafted Kobe in the first place, whoever we had drafted in last year's draft, say for instance we didn't draft Kobe and we drafted somebody else, I would have been like, hey, trade him off Bucks for LaMelo. I wanted LaMelo off rip simply because I feel like we need a playmaker, and Zach plays better off ball. And so I feel like, having Zach with another guard that could just create their own shot, and he's an excellent passer, I just thought that would have been great for the Bulls. But we got a flamethrower in Kobe, and I feel like Kobe can be a great passer as well, but I'm not going to go in depth on that. But we ended up getting the 4th pick, and I was kind of weary because I did not know who to really pick. At first, I was I was really big on Isaac Okoro. I was tweeting about it a lot, I even made a bet. I was like, if the Bulls draft Isaac Okoro, I was going to give a band to charity. Like, that's how big I was. I mean, not Isaac Okoro, but on Obi Toppin. I apologize, y'all. But on Obi Toppin, I was really high on Obi Toppin because I was under the impression that Obi can really play the 3, and that was our biggest weakness. Like, we needed a 3. But just watching Obi more and doing a little bit more research, Obi can't guard... Obi can't guard a man to save his life. And granted, Obi has the physicals. He's 6'9" with like a 6'11" wingspan. Obi has the physicals to be really great. I'm going to be honest with y'all. He has the physicals to be really great. He could play small ball 5, to be honest with you. He looks like He could play the 3, the 4, or the 5, to be honest with you. But he has to work on certain things. But I wanted Obi. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I wanted Obi, but then after I did my research, I was like, nah, I don't really want Obi. And then so I started looking at Denny, and I was like, oh, okay, Denny is straight. I wanted Isaac Okoro. Those were the people that I was looking at because I was like, we need a defender because I knew Chris Dunn and Shaq Harrison wasn't going to come back. So I was like, we're going to need a defender. We need somebody that can play make. So it's just either or. So it's LaMelo, Denny, or it's going to be Isaac Okoro. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I seen the first report of Patrick Williams, I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Simply because I watch college basketball, like I said in the Patrick Williams video. I watch a lot of college basketball. I watch a lot of high school basketball. I just keep up with basketball. I'm a basketball head. And when I seen Patrick Williams might be picked at 4 by the Chicago Bulls, I'm like, who the hell is him? And then I do some research and I'm like, oh, hell no. But these are my 2 reasons why I feel like the Bulls got Patrick Williams. And then I'm going to just leave the video at that. But you know, if you're enjoying this video, you enjoyed this video, please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit me up in the comments section. Let me know if y'all want me to do another recap, if y'all want me to do another team, my thoughts on another team. Like I said, I'm a diehard Bulls fan, so I'm going to be talking about the Bulls a lot on this channel. And so yeah, but going back to what I was saying, I was like, these are my 2 reasons, right? First reason is the Bulls, like I said earlier in the video, the Bulls want a plug-and-play guy because they want to push for the playoffs. Simply why they didn't, make any new moves, add any new players, because they feel like, with the guys that they got, they could be pretty good. It's just that everybody got hurt. And so they needed a plug-and-play guy. And so they got a plug-and-play guy in Patrick Williams. Like, he's 6'8", 6'7". He can guard, 3s, 4s, maybe even 1s and 2s, depending on how well he gets on guarding the perimeter. He's a great shot blocker for his size. He can somewhat shoot. He can kind of handle the ball. Like, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can do a little bit of everything. And then the other reason why I feel like they drafted him is because the front office has this notion that they don't feel like Lauri is worth the extension. A lot of people in Lauri's draft class, like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, they just signed their $195 million extensions with their respective franchises. And Lauri, one of the highest ranked players in that draft, Lauri ain't had no extension yet. And Lauri hasn't shown anything that was like, oh yeah, we got to get you an extension. He's giving me real Danilo Gallinari vibes. Like, okay, you just going to be a spot-up shooter. You can somewhat put the ball on the floor. You can't really show me nothing else. And to be honest, as a Bulls fan, I don't believe that that's the case with Lauri. I honestly feel like Lauri can be a perennial all-star. He can get you 20 and 9. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Lauri can do that. But it's a matter of Lauri just finding confidence and him getting healthy. But I think them drafting Patrick Williams was like an experimental role into seeing how well can Patrick Williams play the 4. And I feel like these are my predictions for the season. I feel like we're going to see a lot of Patrick Williams at the 4 more than the 3, simply because they want to test to see how well he plays. If Lauri does not play well this year, I could see them doing a sign and trade by signing, doing an extension with Lauri and then signing and trading him for a draft pick when the upcoming draft comes along. I can see that happening. Do I want it to happen? No, but I can understand why the front office is doing that. I don't want to let Lauri go. If anything, I would want to keep that core of Kobe, Zach, Lauri, and Wendell. But I know if in the next 2 to 3 years, if we don't show any type of heading towards the playoff energy, one of them 4 is getting traded. And I think it's obviously going to be Zach LaVine. He has the most value right now. And I'm not really going to talk about, do I really want to see him go? Because I don't. You know what I'm saying? I bang with the boy. Not because, you know what I'm saying, he plays for the Bulls, but Zach is just a dog. I appreciate his work ethic. I just like guys in the NBA that have great work ethic, like that. They get in the gym and they put in the work. That's why I'm still a Jimmy Butler's fan to this day. I said Butler's, Jesus. I'm still a Jimmy Butler fan to this day. I still got his jersey. Like, you know what I'm saying? I fuck with Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler was one of those guys where he put in the work, and you know what I'm saying, everything that he got out of is what he deserved. But I honestly think that is the reason why they drafted Patrick Williams. And I feel like that's what we're gonna see next season. I might do a video saying like how I would have done the off season. I think that should be another video. If I was the Bulls GM, how would I have done their season? Because there are a lot of moves I probably would have made. The biggest one off rip, I would have waived Cristiano Felicio. I don't know what hold he has on the front office that they hold on to this man, but Cristiano Felicio, aka the greatest finesser ever. I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. Teach me your ways, bro. I'm trying to be a finesser like you. My predictions for the upcoming season for the Bulls, I think I'm going to do best case scenario, worst case scenario, and then I'm going to get on the body. Best case scenario, I feel like the Bulls makes the 9th seed. I don't think we make the 8th seed simply because the Hawks have made too many great moves to put them in the playoff contention. I think in no particular order the playoffs are going to go the Bucks, Raptors, Heat, Magic, Hawks, the Nets, and the 76ers and the Celtics. I think those are the 8 teams that get into the playoffs. Maybe the Pacers, depending on what they do. But I think those are the teams that get into the playoffs. I think we make the 9th seed. But I think that basically best case scenario, we make the 9th seed in a good way. Like, say for instance, we lose a lot of games and then we come back after All-Star break and we just going crazy, but we don't win enough games to get us into the playoffs. I think honestly, with no bias, that is what happens for the Bulls. Worst case scenario, I think we have a repeat of the same year as far as like win-loss record. I don't think we have enough defenders on the team to really win us games in the East. Not that we don't have the talent, because to be honest, I think our starting 5, when healthy, are an 8th seed in the West. I mean, not in the West, Jesus. In the East. I think our starting 5 can be an 8th seed in the East if healthy. If everybody's fully healthy. That means Otto can actually play 20-plus games without getting hurt. Wendell, Laurie, fully healthy. You know, Zach, fully healthy. All of them, I feel like they can be an 8th seed. But I don't think we have enough defenders on this team. I mean, we got Gary Temple, but they signed him for vet purposes only, because 2021 free agency is the goal. So that's why I don't think the Bulls was making any type of moves as far as free agency is concerned. But I don't think we have enough defenders on this team. You know, even with the signing of Patrick Williams and Gary Temple, and you know, we already got Wendell. Those are the only 3 defenders. Oh, and Adam Makoka, who I think might get another contract if he hasn't already. I need to check that. He might be getting a contract today, I think. But I think Makoka, you know what I'm saying, and Daniel Gafford, those are the only defenders we got on the team. And as far as perimeter is concerned, Otto is supposed to be a perimeter defender. Patrick is supposed to be I don't know what the hell we're going to get out of Chandler Hutchison. He don't know if he want to be a 3 or a 4. But I just don't see a lot of defense on this team. And we don't have a high-power offense to be like the Mavericks of the East, to where we just score, and we don't guard nobody. So I just feel like we go back to the lottery, and then we just try this all over again. One of the core might get traded, and then we just blow it all up and go completely young. I honestly think that. And if we do go that way, I wish the best for Zach LaVine. I'm copping a jersey. Wherever he go, I'm making sure I cop a jersey. And that's how it's going to rock. But that's it for my thoughts as far as the Bulls. I just wanted to give my piece on the whole Patrick Williams and the future of the Bulls segment. shout out to everybody that's been keeping up with the channel, been watching all the videos. Legends League is coming. That's all I'm gonna say. Legends League is coming. I'm excited about that. I'm just excited about, you know, some of the things that I'm gonna be adding to the channel. I got a new My Career series that I'm gonna be adding to the channel. I'm not gonna say what kind of build it is. I'm not gonna say none of that, but just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Y'all be easy. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, turn on them post notifications. Peace and love. I'm holler at y'all. Let's do it.